We are delighted to be sponsored by Enzo Morabito and his brilliant Douglas Elliman team. They may be working in the Hamptons, but they're working everywhere. I'm Victoria Schneps, and I am delighted to be here from Dan's Papers to Dan's Papers Palm Beach at the beautiful Colony Hotel right here in Palm Beach. And Jane Hansen, my co-host, is delighted to join us. Thank you, Jane.
Well, thank you, Vicki. It's
Bringing
always a riot.
28 years of TV experience to the table.
Yeah, but now I've had some experience doing shows with you, and it's been quite the difference, let me tell you. She's picking this stuff up quickly. We're creating a little monster here, I think.
Well, we're having a good time, and I think it's a blessing to be surrounded by some powerful women today who are really making a difference in their world. Jane, do you want to introduce them to us?
I would love to. And one of the things that I love about what you've done, Vicki, in the time that you've been down here in Palm Beach is you have met so many interesting people and have brought all these groups together. You are creating a movement of your own. You really are. I love it. So
that's my fun in life.
It is. Yeah. So we have Annie Watt, who is a famous society photographer in New York City and now down here, because I think you're living down here most of the time. She's going to have an exhibit here at the Colony soon. We've got Donna Schneier, who has been an art dealer and now is really specializing in wearable jewelry art. Jewelry is art, which of course has probably been something down through the centuries, wouldn't you say? I'm thinking Cleopatra for starters. Right?
Yes, of course.
And then Jean Shafiroff, who is known for her amazing philanthropy and all the wonderful things that she does, both in New York and here down in Florida, out in the Hamptons, at home in Southampton. And we were just talking about the book that she's written, which is about creating a successful life by, what's the line?
The name of the book is Successful Philanthropy, How to Make a Life by What You Give. And my friend Georgina Bloomberg wrote an introduction, and so this book is designed to inspire people to get involved in the act of philanthropy by giving their time, their knowledge, and then of course when people have wealth, they must write checks. Also, the book is a practical guide to giving. What does that mean? Well, I talk about what charity boards look for. If you're thinking of joining a charity, well, remember that there are certain expectations. I speak about generational giving, how to get your children involved, how to get your older parents involved. I speak about many different things.
Yeah, I think one of the misnomers that people have is, I can't afford to do that because I don't have enough money. But it really is, you just made that point, it really is about giving what you can to help other people who may not be as fortunate as you are.
No question. And for the audience, quite simply, if you have resources, meaning finances, you've made some money, well, I believe you have to open up your hearts, open up your checkbooks, and write a check. For those who maybe are struggling with work, well, you can give your time and your knowledge and then write a few smaller checks. And of course, if you're someone out of work, volunteer your time, do what you can. And if you're a young mother and you have no time at all, well, I don't really expect you to get on charity boards. Start up slowly, see what you like, and then get involved.
I think you said the magic word, start. And I think, each of you have started your careers in different ways. Donna, I am so blessed to have met you through your son, Mark Schneier, who's the rabbi of our Hampton Synagogue in West Hampton, and who introduced me to you, and I feel I have a new best friend.
You do indeed.
And I am just so impressed with the knowledge you have about art, and you've taken me to meet the director of the Boca Museum, the director of the Norton Museum. But now tell us about your necklace and your work now and this whole wonderful Bijoux exhibit that's coming to Boca Raton Museum.
Well, I've been trying for a very long time to push the art jewelry movement forward. These are artists who are university trained for the most part, and who have decided to make art to wear as opposed to painting and sculpture.
I'd like you to just show off the one necklace you're wearing. Tell us about that artist.
This artist, interestingly enough, was inspired by guess who? Chihuly. No, not me.
No, this is the great art sculptor who's like the Tiffany of modern day.
She's Israeli, and she saw his exhibition on the wall in Jerusalem. And she was a computer person and decided to move to glass immediately.
So this is
This
all made
is
out
like-
of glass,
this is
right? Let me
all
touch it. I
glass.
just want to feel
And
this.
it's so beautiful.
Wow.
And it's just striking. And of course, it looks fabulous
Well,
on you.
thank you, but I have
Great
13
model.
of them.
Well, we're going to be having a bidding war.
Nirit Dekel is her name, and she does flame working or lamp working, which all of you are familiar with because you've seen it at Venice.
Yep, of course.
Blowing the animals. So Nirit blows all of these elements, and then she puts them together as a neck piece.
So your interest in actually looking at jewelry as art and the wonderful
Exactly.
artisans that are out there, is that because maybe it wasn't ever given the same kind of regard?
100%, and I'm hoping that it will be like photography one day. I mean, people in the 70s, 60s, and 70s were ignoring photography, and now it's a major art form.
Well, I'm going to segue right into Annie Watts. You couldn't have made a better introduction because Annie is, in fact, now she's calling herself a society event photographer, but she's going to have an exhibit of her work.
Well, I look for people like you wearing unique items when I'm photographing events. Everyone wearing all black, New Yorkers, all black. Wear a necklace like that, you're going to be photographed, you're going to be on the society page. I try to explain that to people.
I will tell you that Bill Blass once said to me, "Don't ever wear black at a charity
Right, you
event."
won't be photographed.
And he said, I was emceeing something, and he's like, "Do not wear a black dress." And so I wore something in purple, and he was absolutely right. Everybody photographed me that evening. But the point is that you look for unique, wonderful aspects to photograph.
Absolutely.
Like, is that something you're born with, or is that something that you develop?
I'm nosy. So I'm always looking for something going on. I like candid photos, so I enjoy that. Certainly people standing, posing, I have to get that for the client and for the magazines. But no, left to my own devices, I want to find something unusual.
We have hired Annie to create Bill Cunningham's On the Street, and we're calling it Annie's Scene on the Street, Palm Beach. And we are going to have her photograph people
My 57th Street is Worth Avenue and Palm Beach. Yeah, I'm very excited. But to take a page from Jean's book and the philanthropy aspect of it, the exhibition that I'm going to have and the last 4 exhibitions that I've had, people who RSVP that they're coming to my exhibition are in the exhibition. So if I have 200 RSVPs, I have 200 impromptu portrait headshots. And I ask people, take your photo, take it off the wall, take it home, and make a generous donation to the charity that I've chosen, and 100% of the proceeds go to the charity.
What a beautiful way. Bravo.
Last year, I was at your party.
And you bought 8 photos.
Well, as a philanthropist, I have to support charities, local and otherwise, but she had an amazing exhibit, and you must have had about 300 or 400 people right here at the colony.
Right here.
It was a lot of fun.
All outdoors, all safe. People felt very comfortable. I had photos everywhere, photos on the table, photos on the chairs. And I just said, if you find your photo, take it home.
So you talk about always looking for really interesting aspects. Who is one of the most interesting dressers you've ever seen? Would that be Jean over here? Because she's always got some amazing gown on or dress or accessory. So how do you always manage to look so perfect? Because I can't stand it.
You're very, very sweet. First of all, I have a real passion for fashion. And one of the 9 charity boards that I serve on is the Couture Council, which is we fund the museum at the Fashion Institute of Technology. So once I got on that board and I felt freer about showing my love of fashion, I started working with young designers by buying their beautiful gowns. Most of them were made for me, but the idea being that I would not only support this young designer, but I'd create a beautiful gown. I have 250 of them that I'm going to give. I'm going to give them to a museum one day, and that will be in my new will, but my husband already has strict instructions. And they've been archived, but when you love fashion, you have to run with it. And so when I put on a big ball gown, it's like being a fairy princess.
I know.
I love it.
I know.
And so it's a passion, and then it's to support the young designers who really need help right now. You know, during this pandemic, the fashion industry was hit so incredibly hard because everybody's home. They're either in their leggings or in their pajamas.
Right.
And so there's no need to buy new clothing for many people. But if you really want to help the fashion industry, you continue to dress. And you get out there and you put on a ball gown once in a while.
I agree. Now,
I love it.
Have you ever worn anything twice?
Oh, yes. As a matter of fact, if you look at my Instagram, and I have right now about 900,000 followers, I've been wearing a lot of the same things. And one of my favorite expressions is, it's chic to repeat. And that means it's chic to keep wearing the same outfit. And it shows that you have the confidence to dress the way you want to dress, and you don't mind wearing the same thing over and over again.
Well, let's segue into the idea of jewelry.
Well, I wanted to pick up on something that Jean, you're very inspirational, Jean, and I was thinking about the line about making your life about what you give. So when we left New York and sold our apartment, I wanted to leave the city something, and I didn't know what I could leave them. They're certainly not going to name a street after me. So I realized that I had documented the history of art jewelry in the 20th century. And that was just by accident. I did, however, never buy just what I liked. I bought what I thought would move the movement forward, push the envelope. So I was speaking to the curator of the Met 20th century, and I said, Jane Adlin, and I said, Jane, which museum do you think would like the jewelry? She said, is there something wrong with the Met? And I said, oh no, it's yours, you can have it tomorrow. So indeed, the truck came, and we had a 6-month exhibition of the collection. And they wrote a book about the collection. And so it's because I feel so strongly that the artist didn't make it for me.
Right.
They made it for posterity. And if you don't show and if you don't share what you have, you're not a true collector.
So talk to me a little bit about the show you're putting together now. Tell us about the Bijoux.
So we are putting together a show of international art jewelers. We have someone from Australia and someone from Argentina. We have someone from Spain and someone from Japan. And we have a number of domestic artists. And the show is a 4-day show. This year it's at the Boca Museum of Art. And it's they have such a wonderful time because the 40 artists share their ideas. And we have symposium this year for the first time. The Association of Glass Dealers, not dealers, collectors, is focusing on glass jewelry. So we were having a Zoom, somebody, again from Argentina, will Zoom into their studio. Someone from Maine, we're going to Zoom into their studio. And I'm really excited, and Iris Apfel is our guest as well, and she'll be lecturing.
Talk about a collector. Is she the most
Oh,
collectible
my
collective
goodness,
person?
yes. Thousands of pieces.
So
yeah.
do you remember the first piece that you collected that really kind of started you down this
Yeah,
path?
I do indeed. I was an art dealer in 20th century painting and sculpture secondary market. And I went on a trip with the Museum of Art and Design, actually to London. And I walked into a gallery, and there was a very unique necklace. It was nylon. and it was alternative material, and it rose up and became a hood. And I remember, and I said, "That's fantastic! You know, how much is that? 400 pounds." I said, "Are you kidding me? 400 pounds? That's it? That's all?" Because paintings were, this was the mid 80s. Even then, 100,000, 200,000, a million. You know, I said, "Oh, I'm going to start collecting
Jewelry.
jewelry."
It's a little cheaper.
Yes.
Well, your piece is beautiful, and I've been to the Mad Museum to see the exhibits, and then also to a number of your fundraisers for the jewelry exhibits. And
I
it's
gave
just
Matt.
beautiful. You should be so proud of what you.
And I've photographed you there.
Actually, I gave
It's a great trifecta. I think that's what, really what makes this world go around. I'm calling my trifecta here of Dan's papers in the Hamptons, Dan's in New York, and Dan's in Palm Beach. And here we are, this beautiful place.
Just to finish up, when I gave 90 pieces to Matt as well, and so they exhibit them. But when I gave the jewelry to the Met, the father of contemporary jewelry, Otto Kunzli, who is the leading professor of jewelry in Munich also, called me crying. He said, "I never thought I would be in the Metropolitan Museum of Art." And that is the most worthwhile thing for me. That's why I do what I do.
Oh, that's a great story. And Annie, I bet you've got great stories too about.
Not one that would make you cry like this.
Well, but you're, not only are you photographing events and people, but you're really telling history.
I'll tell you a funny story. I was so excited to find out that I was supposed to go to Buckingham Palace to photograph the Oxford Philharmonic last June. And then COVID hit. And instead, I photographed a guy in a turkey costume in Palm Beach handing out free turkeys to kids with cancer. And I said, boy, I have a range.
But that's history.
I love it. I said, I never want to miss the turkey guy. Never.
I think it's all about tying up the bow, guys, today, about giving, about doing, and about creating. And I think, we have had a wonderful session to share. And I want to thank you all for being here. Jane, thank you. I think, we have created a wonderful ambience of interest, and these powerful women have made our day. So, Jane Hansen, Vicki Schneps, we say, till the next time. And thank you to the Colony Hotel for hosting us in their beautiful pink palace.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.